Hello everyone, my name is Levi Prater. Today I will be presenting to you my final project, and that final project is on FlexTime. So I have personally worked for many businesses that do allow FlexTime and businesses that do not allow FlexTime. But first off, what is it? FlexTime is a work policy that allows employees to choose their working schedule with certain conditions such as prescribed working hours that still meet optimum efficiency and productivity, and it can take many forms. The primary forms include an adjustable schedule where particularly maybe a college student needs to adjust their working schedule around their classes, and a compressed schedule. I've personally dealt with this in previous years where my shift was my weekly shifts were for 40 hours, went from 5 8-hour shifts to 4 10-hour shifts. That's very popular. A job sharing form of flex time where of course you share the job with another person or maybe two other people, and working from home. Without that, right now during this pandemic, yes, without that benefit I would not have a job right now. And so not only does it help during pandemics, but it has helped my transportation costs, transportation times. I don't have to drive 45 minutes to work every day. And just having these flexibility arrangements instantly make the job become more attractive for many employees. So, an official statement of this problem would be billions of employees around the world are held to strict working conditions, and it can include working just 8 or more hours a day and so much more. The work life balance for employees seems to be shifting more towards work as they are forced to do what they can to provide for themselves and their families. And with the significant rise in mental health awareness over the recent years, businesses need to implement a system to provide more life to their employees' work life balance. The research question for this study is, what are the positive and negative effects of businesses allowing flex time for their employees? So, to find the positive and negative effects, the research design will follow a non equivalent control group design. The non equivalent control group design employs a separate control group, but the participants in the two conditions, the experiment group and the control group, are not equivalent. We know this because of the selection bias, and we are purposefully seeking out businesses that do implement flex time and businesses that do not implement flex time. So the independent variable of those studies will be to see whether they are implementing the flex time benefits or just simply the absence of those benefits, where the dependent variable will be the employee punctuality, productivity, and their well-being, or better said, mental health. The data from this study is going to be collected through 20 different businesses in the local community. 10 are going to be businesses that do provide flex time benefits, and 10 are going to be businesses that do not provide flex time benefits. And they're going to be asked different survey questions containing nominal, ordinal, and ratio scales. I chose a non-equivalent control group design. I was looking at a non-equivalent control group, the pre-test, post-test design, but it is just much more difficult for a business to transition into flex time benefits. So it's much more realistic to simply survey companies that do or do not have the flex time benefits already. The hypothesis of this study: businesses that provided flex time seen an average of 30% higher productivity levels from their employees over businesses that did not allow flex time. In this study, there are going to be 4 different set of survey questions, and the first set will be for non-flex time employees, second set for non-flex time employee supervisors, 3 for the flex time employee, and 4 for the flex time employee supervisor. And the survey is going to ask questions regarding the occupation, employment status, and their well-being, punctuality, and productivity. We're going to ask them to rank themselves on those qualities, and ratio scales will be used to answer just how many days per week that individual works, how many hours per week that individual works, and how much time is spent commuting to and from work. There's also going to be open-ended questions about flex time in the survey for participants to briefly describe their views about having or not having flex time. Other open-ended questions will be asked regarding even the negative aspects of flex time. This could include frequent schedule changes, maybe inconsistencies among communications, and a possible avoidance of specific tasks at the workplace. The overall timetable for completing this study is going to be 1 month. 20 companies will be from the same local community, so there won't be a significant amount of travel required. The first 3 weeks are going to be spent giving the surveys and collecting the data from the 20 businesses, and the final week is going to be spent analyzing the results from those businesses and see the differences between businesses that allow and don't allow flex time. Last, but most certainly not least, the protection and safety of our participants in the study is absolutely vital. We want to make participants know that they are not required to participate. There will be absolutely no penalty for not participating. They can opt out at any time, and their data will be protected through random numbers assigned before even giving the study. And all this can be noted in their risks and benefits and the personal disclosure form in the appendices section of my paper. And really, just the goal of the survey to protect these individuals and their information provided, but really to compare the results between companies that do and don't allow flex time and draw conclusions about the productivity of those firms. I apologize for going briefly over the time limit, but I tried to shrink all my content down into as little time as possible, and I thank you all for watching my presentation. I hope you enjoyed. And here are my references.